This has been a lot tougher than I expected. I think for the next 30 days, I'm gonna run a 5K every single day. That's right, I am planning on running a 5K every single day for the next 30 days, which is pretty unusual for me because I don't like to run that much. So it's going to be a big push for me to want to run every single day for 30 days. Typically, I don't run just for the fun of running. Usually it's to supplement something else that I'm doing, whether it's a sport or in this case, I want to get in shape to climb the volcanoes in Washington a lot easier than I have in the past. And we have split board season coming up. So it's going to be a lot of uphill cardio type of exercise that's coming up. And so I just want to get ready for that as I come off of these winter months. Now, this experiment isn't going to be the most scientific experiment in the world because I'm not going to change any of my other training regimens that I do. And every single run might be a little bit different because I'm probably going to get bored if I did the same run every single day. But the goal is to run at least a 5K every single day, so 3.2 miles. And the terrain will vary a little bit, but it'll probably be the same 3 or 4 different locations over the course of the month. Now for me, I have a couple metrics that I would love to just see if they improve over the 30 days. One would be my resting heart rate. The third measurement is going to be my mile time to see if that lowers. And obviously that will vary because my runs are going to vary. And every run is going to be slightly different. So there will be some with more elevation than others. So I will see if I can do more of a flat run towards the beginning here and a flat run towards the end to get a better idea of what those mile times are going to look like. And then the fourth, we'll see if there's any aesthetic changes. That's not really high up on my list. I definitely try to put on a little bit more body fat during the winter because being as lean as I usually get in the summer, if I was that way in the winter, I'd be freezing. So usually I try to get my body percent around 21, 22% just so that I have that extra layer so that I'm more warm in the winter when we're doing a ton of snowboarding. So currently my measurements look like this. So if we take a look at my resting heart rate over the last 4 weeks, the average is 53 beats per minute as my resting heart rate. So I would love to see if that lowers at all over the course of the next 4 weeks. My running pace, my average pace when I run, 8.29 minute miles. That's over the last 4 weeks. Over the last 7 days, 8.35. So it just depends how much I'm running. VO2 Max over the last 4 weeks. I am averaging right around 52, 51, 52, so right in there. So we'll see if that makes any changes. For the aesthetic part, let's see. I am sitting at about 22% body fat, 164 pounds. So we'll see if that makes any changes over the next month. And then measurements, I would love to see if my legs, my thighs, and my calves, if those get any bigger. So 23.9 inches on my right thigh, 15.6 inches on my right calf. I usually have pretty stubby legs in the first place, so that's what helps get me up mountains. And then waist, we'll see if the waist drops at all. 34.7 inches is where I'm starting at. So again, this is kind of an experiment for myself. I just want to see how much a month can actually change in a body type like my own and how much that will improve my own climbing capabilities and my cardio while climbing over the next few months. If you don't know, Washington has a lot of volcanoes. Those volcanoes are the tallest mountains in the state pretty much. You definitely need a lot of cardio to be able to go up and down those mountains. And with split boards season just right around the corner, I'm going to have some planks on my feet, aka the snowboard split in half, that are heavy, and then I do a lot of uphill. So again, cardio will be my friend for that. So over the next month, we'll see how everything turns out. Here we go. Let's get started. Do you want to be honest? I am not that excited to do this. We'll see if my mindset changes over 30 days. So I'm going to throw out a prediction right now. First week won't be too bad. Second week, my times will be slower because I'll start to stiffen up. And then that'll force me to stretch a lot more for the 3rd and 4th weeks. And then my times will improve quite a bit in the 4th week. But I know I'm gonna need to do a lot of stretching. Otherwise, I'm gonna end up like a lot of other runners who are hurt, tight, injured all the time. So, all of you runners judging me, hey, get your stretches in, because I work on a lot of you. So, I might have to throw in some of those stretches into the video so you can see what I do. A lot of it's going to be using the Hypervolt. All right, day 1 complete. Got my 3.2 miles in, which means I think I only have like 100 miles left. So we're getting closer every single day. That was definitely tougher than I expected, but it should get a lot better. My first mile always is terrible, and then after that I get more in my groove. So that 3rd mile felt really good. So 29 more days to go. I'm not very excited to run in this, but we gotta do it. So I have about 5 days left, and my body is definitely starting to catch up with me from doing all this running every single day. My rhomboids on my right side are spasming. I've been working on those a lot lately, trying to get them to free up because it makes it really kind of a pain to breathe. And then every time I rotate my body while I run, it definitely catches and it makes it kind of rough. Also, my Achilles is a little tender, and so I'm taking really good care of that, making sure that it doesn't blow, because that would suck. I don't want to blow out a calf. I'm spending a lot more time using the Hypervolt and stretching than I expected I would have to for only 1 month of running. It is running every single day, but I'm definitely surprised at how much it beats up the body, which is probably why I would prefer to run a few days a week instead of every single day, because then you have adequate time to rest and recover. So if you do something like this, always have rest and recovery as a key component in your program, because it's very important to keep your body as healthy as possible. And injuries suck, so don't push yourself to the point of getting injured. The problem with me is I'm really stubborn and I only have 5 days left, so I want to finish this off and be done with the 30 days of running. And then the other part of me is like, you can take a break if you need to, but I think the stubborn part will win. It always does. So hopefully I make it 5 more days. Since I talked about the Hypervolt multiple times, I wanted to show you what I do typically before a run with the Hypervolt. So using the flat head attachment on the Hypervolt, I use that on my bigger muscle groups, such as the quads, the outside of the thigh, and the hamstrings. And then I will swap the head out for the prong-shaped head, and I will use that down my calf and along the sides of the Achilles region. This just helps to really loosen up all of those tissues so that you are ready to go for a run. And then usually after my run, I do it as well for the recovery process of those same tissues. Now when you're using the Hypervolt, make sure that you're going nice and slow across the tissues. Allow the tissues to change. Now in this video I'm going pretty quick. This is much faster than I typically would do it. So just slow it down and go with what feels really good for your body. I've learned that I would rather do less runs per week, but make the runs longer so that my body has more time to rest in between each run. And then I can also cross train as well, so I can get other activities in that I want to get in. I've learned that wearing a hat can help keep sweat out of your face, and also rain if it's dumping rain. Look who I finally got to run with me. She waited till the second to last day, but she's still running. My challenge is done. I knocked out the 30 days of 5Ks. I actually feel pretty good overall. I had that hiccup there for a few days with my back and my calf, but that's feeling much better. I did push through it and I just stretched like crazy, so that definitely helped. But I'm feeling super good. Again, if continuing on with this, I would totally do longer runs a couple days a week. That way I can cross train and I don't overuse any muscles. And that way I don't get burnt out, because it definitely did start to feel more like a chore instead of being fun. Started off fun, then it became kind of a chore. But when I go to new locations, it was a lot more fun to run on, and it made it worthwhile again. So I think changing it up too helps as well. So what were my final numbers and how well did everything improve? Well, that first run that I did had elevation. That was one of my baseline runs. I improved on that by 1:19 per mile, which I topped out in week 3 with the best time. Week 4 is when I had the injury set in. And then I did a baseline run that was flat, and I improved that time by 39 seconds. And again, that was also in week 3. So overall, week 3 was my best week by far, and that's where I saw the most improvement. My resting heart rate improved by 6 beats per minute, went from 54 down to 48 beats per minute at rest. And that again was in week 3, and then now it's back up to about 51. My body measurements, I did a scan at the very beginning, and I did a scan today, and I lost 2.9 pounds. According to the scanner, my body fat percentage did not change, even though I think that's a lie, because I lost 1 inch in my waist, 3/4 of an inch in my hips, about 1/4 of an inch across my legs and my arms. So I definitely saw a lot of changes overall, and I'm definitely looking more lean when I'm looking at myself and my clothes are fitting looser. So I know I lost body fat percent, but it just didn't register on the scanner like it should. But overall, I'm really happy with how everything turned out. 1 month of running, quite a few miles to go from just running every now and then to running every single day. So I definitely expected my body to get beat up a little bit, and I'm able to bounce back quick. So that's why it's really important to cross train and stretch and do lots of stretching. Stretch, stretch, stretch if you're doing this type of activity. But this is definitely going to help get me in shape for volcanoes, climbing all the volcanoes here in Washington, which we have our first one here in a couple weeks. So would I do this challenge again every single day? No. Every few days? I like running. I didn't before, but I like to do it now. It's definitely a good break from things. So I would definitely do it a challenge where it's like a 3 to 4 times a week running, not every single day. So what challenge do you think I should do next? Should I do some sort of yoga challenge? Stretch out for 30 days after doing this? I would love to hear your ideas. You can throw them down in the comments. But other than that, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, throw a like down on the video, and continue to move more, eat well, be adventurous, and get out there and have some fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was fine.
That was kind of forced.